Hello, old friend. How you doing? I saw your mum in town recently. She told me a bit about you and what you've been up to. And I've been meaning to message you for about a year, I guess. But she told me a bit about what's going on in your life, and I thought I should actually message you. You know what it's like, though, don't you? I mean, I'm sure you've been intending to message me, right? Right? Don't leave me hanging. Um, um, yeah, I miss you. Hope you're doing all right. I just wanted to see how you are, and maybe we can go out for a beer one day. Speaking of beer, I did see Jack a few months ago outside of a pub. You know Jack, don't you? Yeah, he was friendly, yeah, of course. But he's got a girlfriend and stuff now. He seems to be doing all right. Settling down. And yeah. He told me a bit about Stephen as well, and it was always us four, wasn't it? Me, you, Jack, and Stephen, and good times. So anyway, I suppose I'll give you a little rundown. I've been back from uni a few years now, and I've been doing some online work for a bit. I was working, down in the coffee shop in town, but doing some online work now. I much prefer that, to be honest. Never did really like retail positions or anything, but yeah, everything's good on my end. Just wanted to hear from you soon. I'm really interested to speak with you, and don't worry if you haven't got anything interesting to say, because I know what it's like. But yeah, if you want to catch up soon, let me know. I was thinking the other day about when one night we came up with this very stupid idea. Do you remember? We went into town with water bombs, and we were filling them up, weren't we, at the local theatre. We were going in the theatre, and because there was a show on, and they just left the doors open, and the bathroom was like right through the corridor, we could just go in, and there was no one there. Use the toilets, and because where else would there be a public toilet? It was like so perfect, because all of these guys that we wanted to water bomb, they were like a few years older than us. Do you remember? And they were with some girls our age, actually. It was quite dodgy when you think about it. But I don't know why we did it. Because that guy we water bombed, I used to have sleepovers at his house. My mother used to know his mother. I don't know if I ever told you that, but it was just weird why we did it. But what a fucking thrill that was. Do you remember? We got away from them at one point. I think you said maybe they caught you and they beat you up a little bit. Like, they weren't murderers or anything, but it wasn't like a Netflix show. But I remember they were fucking scary. Like, we were shitting ourselves. That was some good times, man. What? We were like 14? We were like 14 at the time? God. So we water bombed those guys, and they chased us. We hid under a car, right? But we were separated at this point. You had under one. I did manage to get away from them, and then we went around and we just went back. We were shit. Why did we go back? We didn't have more water bombs, I don't think. I think what happened was you threw one, or I threw one, and it didn't even burst. It just landed on the road, and they just picked it up. Do you remember? Outside the, it was outside the church, wasn't it? On the gardens. Oh my god. And maybe you don't remember me telling you this, but something happened. I ran all the way to the car park on the other side of town. They were chasing me for that long. I ran through past, where Blue Feather pub is. Past that. Went through into that big, like, industrial car park with, like, all the layers and shit. And they came in running after me. There's no one's driving around. You can just hear their footsteps coming from like half a mile away, it feels like. And I hid under a car or behind a car, And I remember them saying, like, "We can see you behind that car, you dickhead, get out." And I was like, I was like, shit, I'm fucked. Like, I'm cornered. There was no way out. I was like in this cubby. And they said to me, they said, "Oh my god," they said, well, they said that, but they were bluffing. They were bluffing. They didn't see me. So I was about to reveal myself. I was about to go, "I am here. You may take me now and take me to your leader and torture me." But I just stayed. Like, and they walked off. They didn't see me. Maybe they thought they did or something. I don't fucking know. Like, they just walked off. And then I remember we just went home after that. But also, I was remembering another night. Do you remember that night? Your cousin, what was his name? What's your cousin's name? Obviously, I know his surname, same name as yours. I think it was Adam. And yeah, was that right? Adam. We asked him. Okay, we asked him to drive us up the hill with a 24 pack of Stella Artois, didn't we? Didn't we? We are fucking stupid, by the way. We said, just drop us up the hill and we'll just get drunk. It was freezing. And I remember you, at some point, it was like 1 a.m. We'd had about 3 cans. We were still 14 or 15, weren't we? We were just on a kids' park at like midnight. I think someone came up with us, but they left at like 10, didn't they? Do you remember that? They left at like 10. And then I think was it Stephen that came up with us? But anyway, we got to like 1 o'clock, didn't we? We've had like 3 or 4 cans each, so we had to carry all these other fucking cans back to my house because my house was closest. Right, we're at the top of this hill, weren't we? We're at the top of the hill. It took us about 2 hours to walk home. We got home. My stepdad was just like probably pissed as fuck. He probably beat the shit out of me that next day. But I slept in the bath. You slept in my bed and I slept in the bath. And we woke up at like 6 o'clock, so we could hardly sleep. I was like, "Mate, you need to get home and you need to fuck off now." That was good fucking times, wasn't it? Wasn't it though? I mean, it wasn't though, but it was. What were we thinking? Man, I miss those days though. I do miss those days. Do you remember you always used to come around my house and just have and have dinner around my house, and you just have a tin of spaghetti? A tin of spaghetti. And we used to make a joke about it every day, didn't we? That was your life, tins of spaghetti. You must have been so malnourished. Spaghetti hoops, wasn't you? Alphabet spaghetti, but without the alphabet. How boring are you? I hope you're eating better than that now. Yeah, I miss it, man. I miss all the funny videos we used to make. Oh my god. Man. And just the fact, just walking to school together, I remember you used to always have to buy, you always liked to buy ice poles, didn't you? Ice poles. Ice pops, what did we call them back then? Ice poles, ice pops, long thin ice flavoured, like, not ice flavoured, but flavoured ice. And you'd get like 6 to 8 of them every day, because they were like 10p each. Do you remember? You were a fucking fiend. And sausage rolls, you loved sausage rolls, didn't you? Do you remember that time we were like about 11 or 12, me and you? And we'd only just met, really, I guess. No, we've probably been mates like a year or 2. And I remember we didn't have much money, obviously, being 11, 12. I went and bought, it was Christmas was coming up, and I went and bought all my family mugs, didn't I? I just went to the pound shop and just bought them all mugs, and I remember you saying, we got into a fight, didn't we? Because you were because I said something like, you basically said something harsh to me. This is how I remember it. Maybe I'm wrong. I remember you saying like, "Why would you buy mugs, like, for your family? It's like it's boring, isn't it? It's just say." And I was just like, "Well, you haven't bought your family anything," and we were walking down the road just outside of our school, weren't we? And you started hitting me on the back of the head, and then we all just laughed at you. I felt really bad after all that. I've never forgotten that. I hope you know. And there was no winners there. It's just something that always comes to mind when I think of you sometimes. That we get into little arguments over nothing. But we did make some sick fucking music though, didn't we? Hmm? Hmm? Let's, let's celebrate the summer. I got a girl who adores me. You had a very good girlfriend at one point, dude, didn't you? She was intelligent, she was pretty, she was quiet and everything. Yes, I remember. Lizzie, wasn't it? Dude, you blew it. You just dumped her for no reason. Why? Why, dude? Was that what was Lizzie? Was she about that song? Celebrate the summer. I got a girl who adores me. I remember you singing that, and I was playing guitar on my Ibanez. I had a rock metal guitar, and we were playing like pop songs. It was so funny, dude. It was so fucking cool. Oh, I miss those days, man. Remember, we went to WH Smith, bought a load of blank CDs. We went and handed them around our school, didn't we? Do you remember that? We went and handed them around at school. Not how I think we tried to sell some, and a few people bought them, and we got mocked a bit for it. And I don't know why, because no one was on our fucking level, dude. No one was making music. We were being a little bit entrepreneurish, weren't we? At the age of like fucking 13 or something at this point, right? 13, 14, 15. We made our own album. 20-song album, I gotta say. Fucking put in the hours we did. We must have. We recorded the songs on your shitty microphone that was plugged into your laptop. It was one of those long, thin microphones that had like a nice bass, like a good cock. It was attached to the bass like a cock, and it long and thin, like you know. And we were singing that the quality was so bad, dude, wasn't it? Oh my god! But we made some bangers, and I tell you, when I went to university to study music, and obviously I went to college before that, I totally attribute my success and my ability to be a lazy fuck because I did a songwriting course, right? I don't know if I told you. I did a songwriting course. The fact that we made so many songs helped me. It like trained me. It like I was basically a machine at writing songs. I could just come up with shit because we just had to, didn't we? Because we were like we made because a lot of our songs were very similar at the beginning, weren't they? Do you remember? Like we couldn't even tell what song we were playing at some points. But yeah, wow. I attribute so much of my ability on the guitar and songwriting, and literally I think I would have just not done a degree or something. You know what I mean? Like I was so lazy in university. You know me. I was crap with assignments, but I just got by. I got the second highest grade you can get for my degree. I'm pretty happy with it. Maybe I didn't tell you, but that's probably my proudest achievement, right? My proudest academic achievement is getting a 2-1 in university. I'm pretty happy with that, especially just because how fucking lazy I was at the time. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for helping me with that, because I do attribute a lot of our success in that. So I'll tell you where I'm living. I'm living at a train station. So if you want to meet up, just let me know. I've got a nice shed. I'm smoking a bit of ganja these days sometimes. Just to at the end of the day, I've got not got an issue with it or anything. It's just like I do a little bit So if you ever fancy that, but if not, we'll just go out for some drinks, yeah? And, wow. Wow, just having a proper nostalgia kick. Do you remember that time we were actually old enough to go out drinking? Because we were, most of our friendship was when we were underage, right? And we went out drinking and Stephen started crying. Do you remember? Remember Stephen crying because Stephen and Jack. It was we had 4 friends, but it was basically me and you and Stephen and Jack, wasn't it? Stephen and Jack, because they were the ones that were having a new girlfriend every fucking month, weren't they? Like boom, 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 and like and then they got into some serious relationships, right, around the age of 15, 16, and we were just kind of left. With each other, not in a bad way, it was a privilege, and yeah, it's funny how when you're in a little friend group, you have even a little friend group, 4 people, you have your own little cliques, don't you? And yeah, I just really I really remember that. I really remember Stephen crying, and because he felt bad about leaving us and like being a fucking introvert all the time, not coming out with us and shit. Do you remember? Because he was with his girl, who turned out some crazy shit. That relationship, didn't it? Do you remember? Yeah. She was like, she just went to another country and didn't even tell him. She didn't even tell him. They were in a relationship for like 2 or 3 years. She didn't even tell him. She just left. And then like messaged him like a month or 2 later. It was fucking weird. Like, who does that? Anyway, he's happy now, right? I did see him in the newspaper. I hope his child's healthy and that, because he was in the newspaper because his child was unhealthy, right? In the local newspaper. So I hope he's doing all right. And even though I do really hate his current girlfriend, if he's still with her, I really don't know. You know, me and her never got along because of how controlling she was over him. But anyway, water under the bridge, innit? We can all go past that now. We're all adults, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Stephen. I hope you're doing all right. I'm being happy for Jack, sorry, and I hope you're doing all right. And yeah, I'm gymming it. So if you ever want to get into the gym a bit, I'm going hard still. I'm pretty proud of myself. I don't know why I've stuck to it for like 9 years now. I don't know. Well, I think I took a few years off. I think I took a year off. Like, not a year off, I didn't like have a break, but I did stop for a bit when I started uni, because I was in a whole new place, and obviously I was just getting laid all the no, not really. And then I got back into it on my second year of uni, because that's when my relationship ended, and I probably told you about that, but yeah, and then I just started taking it seriously, and now I'm here. So if you ever fancy getting back into it, because I know you get crazy into it sometimes, and then sometimes you're like, nah. So, let me know. Let me know if you want to start going to the gym. It's the one near the train station where I live. I'm so lucky. I live right next to one. So, yeah, like, hit me up. And I hope you're doing all right. And I can't wait to talk to you, to be honest. It'd be nice, really nice to hang out again. But yeah, take it easy, and say hello to your brothers and that for me, because I know my brother was always good friends with yours and your stepdad. I do see. I did run into your stepdad once, just randomly. Like I exited my house, and he was just walking past me, because he was on the way to the train station. I think he was on his way to watch a football match. I think he was on his way to watch Brentford FC, Bees FC. That was always your gamer tag, wasn't it? Bees FC, Brentford Football Club. Bees, the Bees. It's funny because I ended up moving to Manchester, which is all about bees. That's where I went to uni. So I ran into when I was in Manchester. I ran into James. Do you remember James? James McCorrick. Do you remember that guy? I ran into him, and I was in a band with him. He was your mate. He was your mate for years, wasn't he, James? He was a bit. He was. He was a very interesting guy. That guy. Very like emotional, and he'd always be like asking you, like, "Are we best friends? Like, do you like me?" And it's like, "What? Like, dude, we're like 20." But yeah, I did really like him. He was just a sweet. He was a sweetheart, and I was in a band with him for a bit. I hope he's doing all right. Maybe I should check up on him, because he really helped me out, being my drummer and shit. Because we had to for the assignments and stuff. You know what I mean? So thank you, for let me ramble to you and all that, and I look forward to your. Look forward to hanging out if you fancy it sometime. So, I'll see you in a bit, alright? Take care. Yeah? Alright. See you in a bit.